Fellas, this is my ad account. As you can see here, July 1st to August 1st, it's August 1st right here. And our retargeting campaign, we have a 16x ROAS. Our scaling campaign, we have an 8x ROAS. And our testing campaign, we have a 6.89x ROAS. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what I did to achieve this for my own company so you can copy paste everything that we talk about in this video and implement it into your business. Now, it's not just me that have used this technique and you've used the strategies that I'm going to share with you in this video to see these results. If I come over to our website here, I did this with a coaching business to take it past 100K a month, an agency to 145. One of the companies in my portfolio, we did this to take it from $20,000 to $640,000 a month. In addition to that, we've generated $35 million through this. We've booked over 25,000 sales calls, and there's enough case studies for you guys to get the gist here that we know what we're doing. We've done this over and over again. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys exactly what we did to make that happen. So without further ado, let's get into it. How to learn ads and print clients without having to pay for a course or program or any of that BS. So first thing, in addition to that, what I didn't mention is I actually got the ad account about a year ago to an agency that was doing about $200,000 a month. Some of you may have heard them before. And when I took over their ad account, they had a $100, $83, $207, $34, and $132 cost per book call. When I took over the ad account and implemented everything that I'm going to share with you guys in this video, we brought it down to a 55, 31, 46, 32, and 26. And you can see 155 and 95 book calls at an average of $30 cost per book call. And again, we did it by following what was in this process. So what we're going to cover is how ads work, how to set up your campaign, the book a call campaign, the lead magnet campaign, and then the combination of the two, how to find winning ads, how to make your own ads, how many ads should we be making. We'll go through landing pages, we'll go through targeting, and then we'll talk about how we actually manage and continue to scale these ads. So starting off with a quick little dictionary that I'm going to be using throughout this course, content, training, whatever you want to call it. CPA stands for cost per acquisition, which means how many dollars do I spend until I get a new customer. CPL stands for cost per lead. CPBC stands for cost per book call. BAC stands for a book a call campaign. And LM stands for a lead magnet campaign. Now, first thing is we need to understand how ads work. And the first thing to understand is that we're not losing money. We're finding our gold mine. So here's a realistic example of what it looks like when we start running ads. We spend $1,000 amongst 10 ads and 9 ads flop. But one makes us $500. And so we're looking at our ad account and we're like, shit, we spent $1,000. We lost $500. Ads don't work. But we did not lose $500. We found an ad where we could spend $1 and make $5 back. And in that case, you cut the losers and double down on the winners. And this is why paid ads require a burned budget. Because when you go through that initial testing phase, and if you see my ad account here, you see that our testing phases have the lowest ROAS because the majority of ads that you launch are going to be losers. And it's not about creating a winning ad every single time. It's about using the foundation and principles that we're going to talk about in this video to create enough winning ads so that we can continuously launch new tests so we can find those winners and we can double down on that. And the second thing is that you need to understand that paid ads will always work. If you've sold more than 5 people, or if someone else in the world has sold more than 5 people, it is proven that people will buy your offer. 98% of your target audience use Facebook or Instagram. Therefore, it is just about finding them and marketing to them in a way that entices them to work with you. So it's not a matter of do paid ads work? It's a matter of how well can we make them work? And this goes for every form of advertising, whether it's paid ads, TikTok ads, YouTube ads, cold email, whatever the case may be, it will always work. It's just a matter of how well can we make it work? Okay, so next thing we're going to talk about here is how to set up your ad campaign. So how we set up our ad account is dependent on the strategy that we are going to use. So here are 3 different approaches to take and when to use each one. So the first one is a book a call campaign. Right now, this strategy is simple. It's kind of like the beginner, the entry level to running ads. And this is what I will use if I'm either working with somebody who doesn't have a ton of money, or if I want to collect a little bit of capital up front so then I can reinvest that capital into a longer term and more sustainable campaign. So the strategy involves running a direct response ad, encouraging people to book a call directly with your sales team. Now, this is like the classic, like, hey, we'll get you XYZ, book a call, book a free consultation, whatever that case may be. You're just straight up making your offer and you're directing people to book a call with your team. You're not necessarily providing any value up front. You're not necessarily providing any lead magnets. And as a result, you're going to have a higher cost per lead. You're going to get less opt-ins and you're going to have a higher cost per book call overall, but you're going to have a quicker sales cycle and you're going to have a quicker speed to results, meaning that you can launch a book a call campaign and within the first week or so, you can get your first couple of closes, which you could then use, even though it's going to be a higher cost per acquisition, to fund a more sustainable and longer term ad campaign, which we'll talk about next. Now, as I just said, book a call will typically have the highest CPA, but it'll get the quickest result. We want to use this when we have a limited burn budget. And the problems with the book a call campaign that we'll run into is that a lot of time we'll have a $1,000 plus cost per acquisition, and it's hard to achieve compounding results, right? Yes, Facebook's algorithm can get better over time, but really we're not necessarily building an audience. We're not nurturing a community. We're not building a pipeline. Essentially, it's just we're finding people who have a problem right now and we're either selling them or we're not selling them. So it's hard to achieve exponential scale. And just to show the comparison, when you run a lead magnet type campaign, our cost per unique sale is $483, which is about half of what a book a call campaign would be on average. So when it comes to actually setting up your book a call campaign, I'm going to quickly walk through the actual steps that you take, how we set it up in order to run these book a call campaigns. So I just came to a random old ad account that I have. I haven't used this in years. I don't even know if I ever really did use this, but you come over to campaigns, you hit create. When it comes to the campaign objection, I will typically go for conversions and then hit continue from there. I always do manual sales campaign. I don't ever do any of the Facebook recommendations. Facebook is just trying to take your money. Don't follow them. When it comes to book a call campaign, it would just simply be book a call campaign, the name there. And then when we get down to here, the campaign objective would be sales. We turn off this. We turn off this for now. We turn off A/B test. And then we go to the ad set, right? Now, what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to go through how to set up your campaigns and I go through this training. And then if you stay to the end, I'll actually walk you through a live screen share of what it would look like if I was launching these campaigns, the pixels, the targeting, and all that kind of stuff. And I'll show you what that looks like in action. But moving on from here, the next campaign is the lead magnet campaign. Now, this strategy involves running ads that give away or sell something for $1 to $100, a solution to one of your prospects' problems. The lead magnet is used to establish trust and uses follow-ups and or the content in the lead magnet to ascend people up to your higher ticket offers. So what this could look like is maybe you have a community, or maybe you have a course, or maybe you have a database reactivation campaign, or whatever that case may be. And you give it away for either really, really cheap or free. And what happens is as people opt in, as people consume that content, you have a team of setters that will dial the people that opt in to make sure that they're actually able to consume the value that you've given away in your lead magnet. And then once they've consumed that value, offer to them if they want additional help to speak with your team one-on-one. And in addition to that, inside of the lead magnet, as you're creating the course content, as you're doing the community, whatever the case may be, you are always in there sharing the what to do, right? You share, here's what to do, here's the steps that you would take, and your call to action is just to simply, if you want help with this, or if you want us to do this for you, click below to schedule a call with your team. Now, lead magnets will require effort and skill to set up and convert, but once cracked, they can easily scale. And the other thing about lead magnets that we have to understand is they'll typically have a longer sales cycle. And what this means is that people who opt in for a lead magnet, they may not convert for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even 6 months. We have people that have opted into our lead magnet campaign 6 months ago that are just converting today. However, if we analyze this over a much longer time horizon, as opposed to looking at this on a weekly basis or even a monthly basis, but if we look at this on a quarterly basis, lead magnet campaigns will typically have a much higher cost per acquisition than a straight book a call campaign. Because what happens is as you continue to get opt-ins and you continue to send them emails and nurture them and they go through your course content, over time they decide, okay, I've gotten enough value. I want to see if I can get even more value by working with this guy one-on-one or by working with his team or whatever that case may be. But the key is that it takes time. And that's why lead magnets are best when you're in a position to burn some short-term money for some longer-term profit. And the third campaign, which is the variation of this, and it's the next campaign that you move to after you've established your initial lead magnet campaign, is the lead magnet plus book a call. So essentially what you do with this is you spend 80% of your budget directing traffic to that lead magnet campaign, directing traffic to your free course, to your community, whatever that case may be. And then you allocate 20% of your budget to retarget the people that have already opted into you, visited your website, follow you on social media on a straight book a call campaign. Now, obviously, this does require a significant amount of pixel data, meaning that you do have to have a good amount of opt-ins. You do have to have a bit of an email list. You do have to have, some website traffic, so there actually is enough people to retarget. But once you get to that stage, this is the campaign that you can turn on to get to those $100,000 a month and more. And as you can see here, this is the campaign that right here has a 16.35x ROAS and a $198 cost per unique sale through the month of July for our company, because people had opted into our free community. They got value. They were interested in what we had to say. They, tried a little bit of the things that we did and it worked. They were able to get results. And then from there, they saw an ad that was like, hey, you can work with these guys even more in a one-on-one, close, intimate environment. And our cost per lead was like $3 or $4 or $5. Our cost per book call was like 15. And as you can see here, these were the results that they were able to get. Now, moving on, how do we find winning ads? Well, the first thing I will say you must do is to become a student. And what that means is we need to turn off any ad blockers when browsing social media. And we want to engage with our competitors' ads so more of them show up. I want you guys opting into your competitors' VSLs, filling out their forms, joining their newsletters, like doing all these kind of things. And you need to forget your ego. I know that you know that they're just trying to sell you something. We all know that. But if you're going to let that stop you from opting in because you don't want to make them believe that, oh, they tricked or, oh, they got you, you're missing out on tons of hidden gold mines and tons of data. I've personally opted in to every single newsletter, to every single VSL, to any marketing asset that any of my competitors have run. And as a result, I see everything. I get every retargeting ad. I see every newsletter. I see every offer they're running. And it allows me to stay on top of the game, to see what's working. And it supplies me with an infinite number of ideas that I can implement into my own business. Now, the second thing that I like to do is to use a transcription strategy to come up with the overall meat and actual foundation of what the ad is going to look like. So what I will do is I will either find winning ads in my own niche, and for that I'll look for ads that have lots of spend or lots of engagement, or I'll search for my niche on Facebook ads library, right? So I'll go on to Facebook ads library and I'll search for common keywords that would be used in ads in my niche. So example, if I was targeting agency owners, I would search the exact phrase agency owners. And then what I would see is a bunch of ads that have mentioned the word agency owners in the ad, which probably means that they are targeting agency owners. Now, the second thing that I do, and this is actually the hidden little gold mine that I found the majority of my winning ads and I've gotten the majority of my winning inspiration from, is that especially if you're in a saturated niche, I look for ads that are performing well in a different niche. For example, I've gotten a ton of inspiration from ads in the fitness space and ads from actually the motivation space and some ads from random and weird niches. But because it's a completely different niche and because typically those ads in different niches are a lot different than the ads in our own niches, it allows me to use a winning ad from another niche. I just rewrite it to apply my own offers and to apply our own messaging and whatnot to it. And when I launch that, it's a new ad that the market has never seen before because it came from a different niche. And that allows me to cut through the competition, to cut through the noise and find winning ads pretty repeatable. Now, in order to actually transcribe the ad, all I will do is I will find it on Instagram. I will copy the Instagram URL. I'll head to snapinsta.app. I'll download the video and then I can upload it to Loom, or I can upload it to any transcription strategy where they will just, I just upload it and then it'll tell me all the words that get said. I take all the words, I put it into a Google Doc, and then I rewrite it using the frameworks that I'm going to follow, that I'm going to share with you guys right now. So how to make your own ads. So starting with the hook. Now the hook is by far the most important aspect of your ad. For example, at the time of this writing, at the time that I wrote this, we had 2 ads running with the exact same value proposition script. So the exact same meat of the ad, the exact same value of the ad was the exact same words. I was saying it in the exact same environment with the exact same tonality, wearing the exact same outfit. Everything was the exact same. Hook number 1 was that if you're an agency owner stuck serving free trial clients, and I can convert them into paid. This had an $18 cost per lead and a $49 cost per book call. Hook number 2 was, are you a young guy who got carried away watching too many Iman Gadzhi videos and now you're stuck in the trenches trying to build your agency? This one came out with a $2 cost per lead and a $16 cost per book call. It was the exact same ad, but a 9x different in results just by changing the hook. Okay. So when it comes to writing the ads and when it comes to how we actually do this, the process that I will work through is first thing I will do is I will write 10 to 20 different hooks. So I'll go through and I'll write 10 to 20 different hooks, and then I'll write 2 to 3 different value sections, value meat of the ad that I got inspiration by finding winning ads in my niche. Then when it comes to filming, I'll film hook 1, hook 2, hook 3, hook 4, hook 5, and then all I will do is I will just paste the different hooks on top of the value. So it'll be hook 1, value 1, hook 2, value 1, hook 3, value 1. And that is how we're able to create, 10, 20, 30 ads in an hour. And we're able to massively test different hooks and value propositions to find that gold mine winning ad quicker. Now, when it comes to actually creating the hooks, here are the 4 different hooks that I usually default to. Now, the other thing with hooks is it's really good to get creative and think outside the box. And I don't necessarily follow this to a T, but if I was just starting, or if you want some step-by-step direction, here are 4 different hook formulas that you can use. That is a great place to start. So the first one is a label hook. So that's just a word or set of words that categorize people, which include features, traits, titles, places, and other descriptors. Examples could include real estate agents, homeowners, gym owners, and Vancouver residents, right? The question hook, questions where if people answer, yeah, that's me, then they qualify themselves for the offer. And ideally with this, you hit on a pain point in the process. So ideally, you're not just asking like, hey, are you a homeowner? It's, hey, are you a homeowner that has been struggling to get the appraised value that you're looking for so you could sell your home, right? So it's A, calling out the homeowner, but then B, also hitting on the pain point, right? Another couple of examples that I've written right here. Are you an agency owner stuck servicing free trial clients? Are you a personal trainer that are only training your friends? Then the next one is the if-then hook. And this is one of my favorite ones to use and one of my go-tos whenever I'm creating hooks. And essentially, it's like, if they meet X qualification / condition, then they should Y action, or then they qualify for Y, right? So examples could include, if you're a mortgage broker struggling with low deal volume from these high interest rates, then you qualify for the deals on demand system. If you're an agency owner stuck servicing free trial clients, then I can help you convert them into paid, right? Are you X a descriptor, a label? Are you struggling with Y, the problem that you're struggling with? Well, then here is the solution for you. Now, the last one here is the ridiculous results hook. And this is obviously the best one. It is the hardest one to come up with because typically you need a crazy case study or something like that to be able to use this, but it's a very good one. It can be very powerful. And essentially, it's just a bizarre, rare, or out of the ordinary stuff that somebody would want, right? An example could be, wife starts crying when she sees how beautiful her new kitchen is. Right? If you were in the home improvement space, you're running ads for your clients, you're running ads for yourself. How beautiful was this kitchen? What do you mean? Right? Agency owner fires all his clients because a single one of them was paying $50,000 a month while he was only working 3 hours a day. What? That doesn't even make, how is that even possible? That hooks you in. That's something that you would want and you would want to learn more about. Now, tips to create winning hooks. The first thing is to make it personal. Bring up something that everybody knows, but nobody likes to admit. If you know your niche enough and you can begin to do this, you're going to see a massive increase in results with your hooks. One of the great hooks that I've been running recently is let me guess, you're an agency owner, you're stuck working 10 hours a day, you don't know how to get more clients, you're struggling to scale, you don't feel like it's even possible to get through this because all your time is spent trying to manage the company, and as a result, you're so in the trenches and you can't get out of the trenches, so it's really hard to scale. That wasn't it word for word, but that was the gist of what I was saying. But because I was describing the situation that so many people are in to a T, that hook performed very well for the ad campaigns that we were running. Same with that Iman Gadzhi hook that I was talking about earlier. Are you a guy who got carried away watching too many Iman Gadzhi videos and now you're stuck in the trenches trying to build your agency? That's so personable that people are like, yeah, actually they kind of laugh damn, that is exactly what happened to me, right? And from there, they're like, okay, they're interested. This guy obviously knows me. I want to hear what he has to say next. And the last thing that I'll say, the last tip that I have when it comes to making hooks is to create your own, right? When people are scrolling through Facebook, when people are scrolling through social media, they're not necessarily there to distinguish between this company and that company. All they remember is the hook, the creative, whatever the case may be. So if we're running the same hooks as everybody else, when a prospect sees that hook, they're going to be like, oh, I've already heard this before. Even if you have a completely different offer, you have a completely different service, you do things completely differently. If they've already heard that hook before, it's going to be like, oh, this is the same company, I'm not interested in them, and they're going to keep scrolling. Okay, the next part is the value proposition. So after the hook gets them interested, the value proposition answers the following questions. Who are you? What can you do for me? And why should I care? So how do we get through the who are you section? Well, we want to maximize our authority in 5 seconds or less, and we can talk about personal results or ideally client results. And a good kind of frame to do this with is, hey, I'll give you 2 reasons to believe me. One's a BS reason and one's a real reason. The BS reason is I've taken 3 agencies to 6 figures. I've taken a coaching business to 7 figures, and my current agency does over $200,000 a month. But the real reason is because we've helped hundreds of people do the same, such as Rayon. He went from $0 to $67,000 a month. And then I would go through a whole bunch of case studies that we've worked with here at Catalyst Holdings. Now, the other thing to say is that the more you talk about your accomplishments, the more suspicious that they appear. So I have actually made this mistake in the past where I thought the more social proof, the more I boosted my own, credibility in the ad, the better results that it would get. But what ended up happening is I launched these ads where I talked about all these things that I've done, these companies that I've built, the people that I've served, and people were like, oh, here's another egotistical motherfucker who just is posting on social media, living in his parents' basement, whatever the case may be, right? Like, you just get absolutely flamed in the Facebook and the Instagram comments. So one of the things that I've learned the hard way is that when you are, flexing your accomplishments, or when you're mentioning, the things that you've done in the past or how you can help people, you keep it quick, you keep it short, and the less you talk about your accomplishments, the more real they appear. Now, the next part is the what can you do for me and why should I care? Well, really what we do is we just simply go through the transcription that we already have, the transcription that we already took from a winning ad, whether it was in our own niche, in another niche, and we rewrite it to our offer. But as we're rewriting it to our offer, we want to focus on increasing the dream outcome, increasing the likeliness of achievement, decreasing the effort and skill, and decreasing the time delay. So how we can do this is, first of all, the dream outcome. We'll simply put, the bigger the dream outcome that you can provide for somebody, the better. Making $1,000 is more valuable than making $1. However, this kind of works on a teeter-totter effect, because the higher the dream outcome, the more likeliness of achievement is required. For example, if I say, hey, I'll guarantee you'll make $1 tomorrow, you'd probably believe me, and I probably wouldn't need any likeliness of achievement for you to believe me. On the other hand, you don't really care about making $1 tomorrow because you could go on the side of the street and beg for $1. Probably make a lot more than $1 if you did that. On the other hand, if I said, hey, I'll help you make $1 million for tomorrow, well, then I would need a ridiculous amount of likeliness of achievement for you to even consider that that's an actual possibility. The next phase is the likeliness of achievement. So with that, how do we increase the likeliness of achievement? Well, the first thing that we can do is through case studies, right? We can just share the people that we've helped with in the past, or even some of the results that we've gotten, right? That could be how I or how this person that I've worked with got those results. If somebody's done it before them, well, then the likeliness of achievement goes up. Another way to increase the likeliness of achievement, because there's 2 sides to the likeliness of achievement. The first side is, can it be done? Has it been done before? And then the second part of it is, can I do it? Right? So we also have to increase the likeliness of achievement for if they can do it. And we can use words like step by step, easy to follow, make it simple, just click below, whatever the case may be, to show that even them are going to be able to achieve the same results. The next part is the low effort and skill. So how can we make this perceive to have minimum effort required and skill on their end? Well, we can use words like done for you. It's beginner friendly. It's step by step. We'll hold your hand through the process. We'll do it, whatever the case may be, using language to decrease the effort and skill required for them to get the dream outcome. And the last one is the time delay. Simply put, the faster they see results, the better. If they can get instant access, it's better than if they have to wait an hour, better than they have to wait a day, a week, etc. Right? So how can we short either the time to the first win or the time to the overall dream outcome? One of the tips that I have when you're creating ads is market the first win that they can get. Right? So maybe, you run an offer and your offer helps people add $100,000 a month, whatever the case may be. But what are some things that they could get in the first week, in the first day of working with you? We'll bring that up with your ad so you can decrease the time delay that they have to experience before they can start seeing results. So in short, we want our value proposition to explain how likely it is for them to achieve the high dream outcome. We can deliver for them without them having to wait a long time or needing to put in a lot of effort/skill. And the last thing is we also want to focus on what others will think of them in the process, because at the end of the day, everything that we do as humans is status driven. We are building our business to, whether it be provide for our family and to increase status for them, whether it be to flex on our high school friends that doubted us and to increase status on them. We go to the gym to increase our status. Everything that we do in our life has some form of a status increase. Even people who are donating to charity, yes, they might be selfless and yes, they might be giving to charity, but selfishly, they want to be perceived as a philanthropist. They want to be perceived as the guy in the community that's able to give back the most. Then the last thing here is the call to actions. Keep your call to actions extremely straightforward and simple. Click, learn more, keep simple domains, make it super easy for people to actually take that next step. All right, so the next thing here is how do we actually film your ads? So the majority of ads that I just film, I just use my phone. I don't need any fancy equipment. People, I don't think, care too much about where the ad is filmed, but more of the content inside of the ad. So a couple tips that I like to use when it comes to filming ads. The first thing is I found an app called Teleprompter Pro that you can read your script if you're filming from a phone without it looking like you're reading a script. Another quick tip that I have for you is make your ads appear like organic content. Right? If you make your ad that looks like an ad, well, a lot of people are just going to have ad blockers on mentally inside of their brain. So as soon as they see it, they're just going to scroll because they're not interested in ads, right? But if you can make your ad appear as though if it's organic content, that's going to buy you an extra couple of seconds when people stumble across your ad. And if your hook gets them interested, well, then you're off to the races from there. And the last thing is to match the type of content that your audience consumes. If they watch memes, try meme ads. If they watch a lot of just organic content of people just talking to their phone, make ads where it's just looking like organic content and you're talking to your phone. Now, next thing here is I have a couple go-to winning creatives, but after this, I'm also going to pull up another doc where I'm actually going to show you some of the ad creatives and some of the ad scripts that we have written so you can see what this actually looks like in process. So testimonials, video and screenshot testimonials / client results are always a great place to start with ads. And if you have any of them, immediately, as soon as you're done watching this video, go and launch those ads because those are probably going to be your top performing ads anyways. And another quick little tip that you can use is story post ads, right? So actually film the ad using Instagram stories and then use the same text on Instagram stories and run that as a story ad. Because what happens is people are going through Instagram or Facebook, they click on it because it looks like a story. They're like, I didn't know I followed this person. And what they'll do a lot of the time is they'll either, engage the ad because who is this person? They're kind of checking that out. It kind of stops them. Maybe they'll check out your profile, but regardless, they're going to be a lot more likely to consume that ad because they think it's an organic story ad from somebody that they follow. All right, so here I have some of the ad copy and ad scripts, and I'm going to break this down so you can see what this looks like in person. So right here at the top, we have the different hooks that I'm going to be testing as I go through and film these ads, right? And you can see if you're an agency owner in 2024, using the Marketing HoldCo system is the fastest way to scale to $1 million a year using the if-then statement. Agency owners, I know you fucking hate gurus like me, but let me show you something that you've never seen before. A hook that gets them in, a hook that gets them interested, and you can read the rest of them here. Then when it comes to the actual value portion of the ad, let's break that down here. So the 12 months to $1 million challenge is the fastest way to scale your agency. 4 to 5 people who complete the challenge make $10,000 or more. You can see I'm increasing the dream outcome, low effort, or low time delay, and all that kind of stuff just at the beginning. And that's just the low end. We got Yegi from Australia who hit 12K a month, Scott from Switzerland who hit 10K in his first 2 months, Carol from Denmark, and I go on and on and on with a whole bunch of case studies that we've gotten to increase the perceived likelihood of achievement. And one of the most important things that I did with this is I specifically didn't choose all of our case studies. I specifically chose case studies from different parts of the world so it's more relevant to whoever's watching the ad. And then once I get through all this, and this all recently happened, you can get started within minutes, showing how simply it is to get started just by following the steps below, decreasing the time delay and decreasing the effort and sacrifices. We'll give you the offer, scripts, training, and calls, and you can join our community with all the killer entrepreneurs I just shared to make sure that you're successful. Again, increasing the dream outcome, decreasing the effort and sacrifice, decreasing the time delay, and increasing the perceived likelihood of achievement. Click the link below and you can start for free, and I'll talk to you on the inside. Another one that we'll use here is, do you want to see something that you've never seen before? 4 to 5 people who use the Marketing HoldCo system make $10,000 or more. Look, here's our entire database. And then what I'm going to be doing on this ad is I'm just going to be going through all the client statistics that we've had from all the people that we've ever onboarded and showing the success rate that we've had of people using the Marketing HoldCo system. So if you want to use the same offer, scripts, training, and service delivery as them, you can get started in seconds. And the best part is that you can start for free. Now, if you're watching these videos and you're interested in this right here, that's because it's a good ad. If this is kind of interested you, if you want to learn more, if you want to be inside of this community, if this is like, oh, well, it's because it's a good ad and you should take this as inspiration. And I encourage you to take this from inspiration and use it for yourself, right? The same effect that this is having on you right now is the effect that it's going to have on the prospects when you run ads like this and you follow the principles that we shared in this video so far. All right, so how many ads do we make? Well, simply put, the more ads that you make, the higher chance you find you're winning ads that take you to $100,000 a month. It's like, how many swings at a baseball bat does it take to hit a home run? It could take 1, it could take 100, but the more swings you take, the higher chance you have of hitting your home run. And it's the exact same thing with ads. Therefore, that being said, I recommend that if you don't have the ability to pump out at least 10 new creatives a week, you probably should spend time optimizing your business, removing yourself from service delivery or whatever it's going to take until you can allocate at minimum 10 new ad creatives a week to your ad campaigns. Getting into targeting. So as we stated earlier, unless you were targeting these people, and I didn't know who these were when I started this video, but I tried to search up like African tribes. Wow, these guys are crazy people. Apparently, if you go anywhere near them, they just shoot you dead with a bow and arrow. That being said, back to the training here. Your soon-to-be customers exist on Facebook, and you just need to find them. So the Facebook algorithm has become good at doing most of the searching for you, but here are the two targeting setups to assist Facebook in finding your ideal audience. So broad targeting, this is the first one that we'll always run with. Now for the location, we'll do Canada, US, United Kingdom, and Australia, which is commonly known as the Big Four. Now, if you're from Europe or something, or if you're working with clients in additional countries, you're welcome to include them. I just recommend that you stay away from third world countries because most of the time, like just statistically, they probably won't be able to afford your services. You can call me a whatever, but I've spent a lot of money on ads, and like very rarely do we ever get somebody remotely qualified from a third world country. That being said, moving on. Age, 18 to 65 plus, unless you have a specific target audience. The gender, all. There's no custom audience. And then the detailed targeting for agency/B2B for, would be Facebook page admins and business page admins. And then you narrow your audience by relevant industry interests. And then if you're doing like coaches, if you're going to consumers, you wouldn't include the Facebook page admins and the business page admins, and you would just do the relevant industry interests. So let me show you what this actually looks like here. If we come over to the ad set down here, the conversion place would be the website. We'd want to put our pixel in there so we could actually, track when we do get that. I haven't set this pixel up, but you just click set up conversions there and follow the process from there. Your daily budget, whatever you want that to be. And then when it come over to audience control. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to switch to original audience options because we don't trust Facebook. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come over to locations. You do Canada, United Kingdom, United States, and Australia. Age, 18 to 65 plus, genders. And then when it comes to the advantage detailed targeting, we'll do Facebook business page admins, and then we'll do Facebook page admins. And then we'll put in a bunch of relevant industry specific interests. So let's say we're in the gym niche. It would be like fitness, gym, maybe gym memes, whatever the case may be. And then I would just stack in like 20 to 30 of these. So basically what you were telling Facebook is, hey, we're finding business page admins and Facebook page admins. And the reason why we do Facebook page admins and not just business pages is because sometimes business owners will set up a Facebook page and it won't actually be a business page, but they don't know much about online. So they just set it up as a Facebook page that are also interested in everything related to fitness. Okay, and then that is simply how we set up the targeting for a broad campaign. Now, the next thing that we'll do, if we have the ability, is we'll also do lookalike targeting, right? So what we'll do for this is we'll set the location to be the same, we'll set the age to be the same, and we'll set the gender also to be the same, but then we'll create a custom audience of a 1% lookalike of past customers. So you come over back into Facebook here, you click on audiences, you come over to create audience, and you go lookalike audience. So then once you're here, you just select your lookalike source. So that could either be a pixel if you had the data on a pixel, or you would upload a custom audience. So for example, what we did is 900 scrape gyms as a custom audience. And then from there, you would select the audience location. So it would be, again, Canada, US, Australia, UK. And then the number of lookalike audience, depending on how many people that you have. If you have 1,000 or more, I find that you can just do a 1%. If you have less than that, they can go to 2 to 3%. I wouldn't recommend doing anything more than 3%. And then you just hit create audience and it will create a lookalike audience, which basically means it's going to find people who look like, from a online data point perspective, the people that you've uploaded to the list there. All right, so the next part of the ad campaign is going to be our landing pages. So quick story. For the longest time, I ran simple landing pages and we did quite well. We had a lot of success with our ad campaigns. We made a good amount of money and everything was happy. Now, I fell into the trap of shiny object syndrome and I found other people that were running fancy landing pages and all that kind of stuff. I decided, if they're doing it, I need to be like them. I forgot all the basics. I forgot what got me to where I was in the first place. I created a fancy landing page and my conversion rate went from 26% down to 8%. And again, for the portfolio companies as well, I basically did the same thing at the same time and I saw the exact same results happen. It was just a massive decrease in conversion rates, a massive decrease in leads, and all the shitty numbers that we tried to avoid. So when it comes into the anatomy of a landing page, keep it super simple. Layout number 1, you can use just call out headline subheader and then a CTA. Layout number 2 that you use is call out headline subheader with some social proof and a CTA. And the third layout that you can test is call out headline subheader, social proof, CTA, and then a couple bullet points after that. Now, I always recommend that you start with this one, layout number 2, just to get going. From there, you can run split tests, testing layout number 1 and layout number 3. Now, when it comes to the actual funnel, what this is going to look like is you're just going to have your ad, and that's going to go to your landing page. And then from there, it's going to be a pop-up form. So they're going to be a form where they enter their name, email, phone number. And then what that's going to do is it's going to send them to your setters or yourself, so you can give them a call. But regardless, it's going to take them to another page with a VSL and a calendar where they could book a call. And now what's going to happen is, about 10% of people are going to opt in, they're going to fill out their form, and then they're going to book a call on your calendar. But the 90% are going to go to your setter, and your setter is going to call them up and rebook them on your calendar with them. And that's a simple funnel that we use. And I've seen some of the most complicated funnels in the world, tripwire, if this happens, then that happens. And I found time and time again that the simplest funnels make the most amount of money. But the problem is that they're simple, they're boring, and they're hard work, right? You need to be testing headlines. You need to be launching the landing pages. You need to be dialing up the leads. That's all you have to do. It's the hard work, it's the boring work that makes the most amount of money. So if you get up this crazy idea to create this crazy tripwire, whatever the case, funnel, I would learn from my mistakes and just not do it. Keep your landing page, keep your funnel super simple, get as much contact information as you can, send people to a calendar page, dial up the leads that don't book in, and just continuously optimizing, training your setting team to continuously scale up the ad account. Now, when it comes to actually ad management and scaling, this is the process that we use. Is we'll first create a campaign and we'll title it Offer Objective Testing. Then inside of that campaign, we'll create 2 to 20 plus ad sets, and we'll target a broad audience with one ad in each ad set. We'll spend $50 to $100 per ad set. Then we will cut it if it's losing, and we'll scale it by 20% if it's winning. And then we'll duplicate the winners to test new copy, headlines, hooks. And once we found winners targeting a broad audience, we'll create the following audience as possible: past customers lookalike, past opt-ins lookalike, and we'll duplicate that winning creative and test your new audiences. So I'll show you what this looks like kind of in action. If I go to my testing campaign here, you can see that we have a whole bunch of campaigns in here. Now, some of them are to the broad and some of them are to the 1% lookalike audience. And this really just serves as kind of my overall playground for when it comes to actually trying to find winning ads and whatnot. I keep it low budgets with each individual campaign here, and I just constantly test. And then once I find a winning creative, like if I come over to here and we find, ads that have maybe a $4 cost per lead, a $9 cost per lead, right? We can tell that they're doing really well. Then we'll move on to stage 2, which is when we send them to a scaling campaign. So what we'll do is we'll create a second campaign and we'll title it Offer Objective Scaling. We'll turn on campaign budget optimization. And every time we find a winning ad plus ad set plus ad from our testing campaign, we'll duplicate it into our scaling campaign and we'll scale the budget by 20% for as long as we can. So if I show you what that looks like here, if I go to our school scaling campaign, which has a slightly higher ROAS because it's only the winners, I've essentially just duplicated all the winning ads from the testing campaign into here, just thrown them all in here, and I turn on campaign budget optimization to let Facebook do its work. And then the final campaign is that book a call retargeting campaign. We'll create a third campaign and we'll title it retargeting book a call. We'll create the following custom audiences. So we'll retarget website visitors over the past 60 days, Instagram and Facebook profile visits over the past 60 days, opt-ins, and then we'll create 2 to 20 plus ad sets with one ad in each ad set. Our audience will be the website visitors, IG, Facebook, and opt-ins, and then we'll just straight up promote that book a call offer. We'll allocate 10 to 20% of our total ad spend budget. So that means if you could spend $100 per day, we'll split up $20 a day amongst your ad sets in this campaign. And again, we follow the same process. We spend $50 to $100 per ad set, then we cut it if it's losing, scale by 20% if it's winning, and we're always duplicating the winners to test new copy, headlines, hooks, etc. And so if I come back to here and I go to the retargeting campaign, you can see these are all the retargeting campaigns where we're just straight up booking a call, and these are the ones that have the highest ROAS if you come and check out our high ROAS statistics here. So that is it. That was an entire training on how to learn ads and print clients without courses, programs, or any of that bullshit. If you guys want to meet with me once a week and go through my entire training on what we're using to turn agencies into marketing HoldCos and take them to $1 million a year and beyond, you can click the link below. It's 100% free, no credit card, no opt-in or anything like that. There's a community where you can learn from me. There's trainings. There's everything that you would need to scale. If you want to take that up another level and perhaps work with us one-on-one, there's a link below where you can apply to do that as well. But other than that, I appreciate you guys for taking the time to watch this video. I wish you guys all the best inside of your businesses, and I hope to see you guys in the comment section of this one and future videos.